Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chiquis and Chill. Today's episode is going to be about a topic I think a lot of you will find interesting, but I hope it's also very informative. Today, I'm going to give you an update on some of the surgeries and procedures I've gotten done in the past and also in the last few months. And I'm also going to be talking about medical tourism, which is when people get medical care in a foreign country. Think Mexico, Turkey, South Korea, and Colombia, so on and so forth. So let's talk about it. This is Chiquis and Chill. Okay, so where do I start? I guess we should start with my very first surgery, which was liposuction. 360 liposuction, you guys. Done in TJ at 18 years old. My mom took me. My mom was very obsessed with weight. I think because she had suffered with her weight her entire life, and she didn't want us, her daughters, to suffer in the same way. So as soon as I was of age, she took me to TJ, to her Dr. Buenrostro, who I believe passed away like a few years ago. R.I.P. Dr. Buenrostro, he was so awesome. So he did my first liposuction. And I feel like I was too young. I was too young. If I were to be asked now, would I do it all over again? I'd probably say no, but I don't regret anything that I do because I learned from it. But if I had the choice, I'd say I'd rather wait until I'm older, until my body's a little more developed. But I just wanted to make my mom happy. And in all honesty, I was happy. I was young, had a different metabolism, but I didn't take care of myself, you guys. And that's one thing for a long time. I was like, oh my God, I love liposuction. It's so awesome. You could just freaking get your fat sucked out. But if you don't take care of yourself, you guys, the fat will find a place to go. And since I was too young in every way, it totally, I feel like, disfigured my body for a long time because it went to my neck. It went to my cheeks. It was, for a little bit, I was fine. I had a little waist and like the whole thing, it was cute. But then I didn't take care of myself. I wasn't mature enough to understand that I have to eat right, that I have to work out, that I have to do certain things in order to keep my body looking the way I want it to look. So my body went through a lot. So that was 18 and it wasn't TJ. The reason I did go to TJ was because that was my mom's doctor. She trusted him. He was really nice. He did a good job. It was just liposuction. I felt like, it's just liposuction. Again, I was in my mom's care. I was like, okay, whatever. Mom says it's fine. It's fine. And I don't know. People have like this negative like idea of like, oh, if you go to like another country or you go like especially to TJ, like you can get botched. Yes, you can. If you don't do your research and you don't know someone at least that has gone to that doctor and had good results, then you are running the risk of getting botched. And there are a lot of doctors, and it's where you guys have to be careful if you're looking into getting plastic surgery. There are a lot of fake doctors out there, especially in foreign countries, because they're going to say, oh yeah, I have my license in this and that, and they really don't. And they're like a dermatologist or a dentist, and they're trying to do like crazy ass surgeries that they didn't go to school for. So you have to be very, very careful and ask the right questions and make sure you talk to other people and check their reviews. You guys, reviews do not lie. If they have a bunch of negative reviews, I wouldn't do it. Doesn't matter how cheap it is. Lo que es barato sale caro later on. So whatever's cheap and you're trying to save a buck here and there, you can get yourself into trouble because yes, with any surgery, whether it be, it's absolutely necessary to like, yes, it's your choice. You run a risk and you have to be aware of that. So that's one thing I do want to say. I am one to say it's your body. Do whatever will make you happy, but also be very, very smart with it. Be intelligent, do your research. Okay? So that was my first surgery. 18 years old, 19, I was looking all right. I was like, what's up, girl? And then I just, my ass started growing more. Because that's one thing I will tell you guys, my ass is my ass. Anyone that knows me and went to Jordan High in Long Beach, you guys know. You guys can go ahead and put on Dear Chiquis if it's not true. But I've always had an ass. Then, you start being sexually active. It's the truth. And shit starts growing, your titties and your booty. And that's what happened to me. And it just grew. And then not only that, I got liposuction in my waist and in my thighs. So then where did the fat go? My ass, which I was very happy about, to be honest. But I don't have implants in my booty. I do not have implants. I have gotten, and I've shared this with you guys even on social media, I've gotten fillers on my hip dips to make it look better from the back, like to make my butt look more round. But my ass is my ass. And I just did lipo everywhere else. So it makes your butt look nicer and more plump. That's just the truth. They take fat from the bottom, from the sides, and it makes your butt look bigger. So anyways, then I believe when I got my first boob job, I was 18 years old. And why am I talking about all of this? And why am I telling you guys? Because some people could probably say, okay, why is it their business? Do you feel like you need to share everything with everyone? No, I really don't feel like I need to share things with people in order to be accepted or anything like that. I'm just honest with you guys because that's who I am. And I want to share because I want you guys to learn and grow and learn from my experiences, and that's just who I am and whatever. And I'm sharing it also because I know a lot of things have also been said and have been questioned, like, oh, is my booty real? Or how many surgeries have I gotten? So I'm going to tell you guys because I have no problem sharing it. I don't care what anyone thinks. I do what I want to do, what makes me happy. And that's it, Maybe if you would have asked me this when I was younger, I'd probably was like, oh my God, no, I like myself and whatever. It is what it is. And I learned from it. So anyways, my first boob job, I must have been 24. I was 24 years old. It was when like Kim Kardashian was like the hottest thing. She's still super hot. Honestly, she's so beautiful. So that's when we started learning about the Kim Kardashians of the world. And it's like, oh my God, small waist, big butt, big tits. And I was like, oh my God, I want that. My boobs were I want to say like a B back then. And I went to a doctor in Beverly Hills. And I remember walking in there and he's like, okay, look at these magazines. What do you want your boobs to look like? We never really talked about sizes. I was just like, well, he's asking me what I want my boobs to look like. So I just literally chose my tits out of a magazine. And I told him what I wanted, that I was like, oh my God, I think Kim Kardashian's body is awesome, like blah, blah, blah. I had already gained weight, by the way, from my liposuction. So let's just remember that. And anyways, do the surgery. Very nice guy. I won't say his name, but he was very nice. Him and his wife were awesome. And I wake up with these massive tits, you guys, huge. They were like triple D's. I was like, oh my God. He said, well, you wanted your boobs to match your butt. I didn't say that. I just said that I wanted my body to look kind of like Kim's. First of all, I was probably like at least 40 pounds heavier than Kim Kardashian. And I was like, what the hell? So anyways, I had to wait 6 months. I was like, these are huge. Mind you, I'm 5'2". What the hell am I doing with these massive triple D tits? I was devastated. My mom was like, I told you so. I told you leave your tits alone, because my mom did tell me. Mom said, don't do anything to your boobs. Leave it alone. But then I was like, necia. And I was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. She's like, all right, whatever. Well, she was right. She's like, I told you so. This is where the whole journey with my boobs started, you guys. Should have just listened to my mom. So anyways, waited 6 months. And then he brought them down to double Ds, because he said, if I bring him down too soon, too fast, you're going to have saggy boobs. You're too young to have saggy boobs. So we brought him down to a double D. And I still wasn't happy. They were too big. And so I changed doctors, because I was like, he's just not getting it. So I went to another doctor here in the States. Again, Beverly Hills. I had to get a reduction at this point, because if I wanted them a lot smaller, my skin had stretched so much that then they were going to just be small, saggy boobs. So that's when I got my first reduction. And they did the lollipop, which is around the nipple and down the boob. That was the first. And they brought it down, I think, to a D. And then I was fine for a couple of years. This was probably like when I was 26, maybe, or 25, something like that. I was happy, but then my body started changing. And again, I wasn't really watching what I ate. I didn't really understand the concept of living a healthy lifestyle, not just like a fad diet where I'm going to like lose weight quickly. Like I was all into like the cabbage diet and this and that and did so many different things. So then it was just like a yo-yo thing. And then like, I didn't know that I had a thyroid issue until like later in my 30s. So I don't know, my boobs were just growing like at a rapid rate. And I never really wanted big boobs. I just wanted full, nice, perky tits. And because I didn't explain that correctly to my first doctor, that's when all of this happened with my boobs. So then my scars went all crazy, because then I go somewhere, because I don't scar very well. I keloid. I didn't learn that until after, because I went and then they had to do like a full on anchor breast reduction and remove tissue and like bring them up. So I had like this big scar. And of course I was young and I was like, oh my God, like I can't wear bikinis and blah, blah, blah. So it was just like, I always go back and I'm like, I should have just left my boobs alone. I should have just listened to my mom. Before I move on with everything else, with my last boob job, I was happy with the job he had done. again, he had done, this is Dr. Gutierrez. Okay. So surgery number 4 with my boobs. I was very happy with what he did. And I was very happy with how he left my scars. I went ahead and went to someone that was trying to was going to help my scar look better, but in reality, it was worse. So that was one thing. But I didn't know this until once I got the surgery, that something was happening with my left boob. I just knew that I felt like it was encapsulating. Like, I'm like, something's wrong with my left boob. It feels harder than the right. Every time I lay on my tummy, like to get a massage, like it's very uncomfortable. I was feeling like it was feeling weird. I'm the type of woman that I'm constantly like doing checks because, my grandma had breast cancer. My mom also had a lump that was benign, but it was still something that needed to be removed. So I'm constantly checking, doing my self checks. And so I was like, something's wrong with my left boob. Finally went to the doctor. He said, yes, it's encapsulating. And I thought that's all it was. So then we go to surgery number 5, So I was like, okay, well, since you're going to fix the left boob, fix my scar that I messed up. The previous freaking surgeries, I didn't really know. And I would go to these places to like, oh, I'm going to erase the scar. I'm going to tattoo over it, or I'm going to do this and do that in order for it to fade. It just made my scars worse. So he did that. And then when I wake up, he tells me there was something going on with your boob, something we had never seen. You had a double pocket. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I had placed your implant under the muscle because I want, a more natural look. Over the muscle gives you more of like a porn looking boob, which is great if that's what you want. But I wanted more of a natural. He said, I don't know how, but the pocket opened up. I don't know if you were rough. I don't know if you started driving too soon after your surgery, the 4th one, but it opened up. The pocket opened up. So now your breast, it wasn't that it was encapsulated. It came through the muscle and up on top and it flipped. And I was like, what? Like, I never felt it. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if I started working out too soon, which is why I'm taking my time to start doing weights now, because I was like, I want to make sure my boobs are fine. So apparently I needed some type of reconstruction, which is why it took like forever when I was under. Mind you, when I was under, they also did like the Morpheus on like my tummy, Morpheus 8, which is like to tighten the skin. So they did it on my face, on my neck, on my abdomen. So it was a very long surgery, but it had to do with my left boob because it was like the implant was completely flipped over, which was crazy. They were all like, I guess like, oh my God, I don't know how you weren't in so much pain. Like I felt something, but not like excruciating pain where I was like, I can't function. So that was that. And that's why I went in, but I guess they can't, obviously they can't really tell what's going on until they go in there and like look at everything. So that's what happened. Now I just want to leave them alone. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm happy. They're a lot smaller. Although Emilio swears that they're way bigger than the last ones, but I think he's crazy. I think he just wants them to be bigger. I have no idea, but they're smaller. They're perky. They're good. They're sitting. But I did go to Dr. Gutierrez, who's in TJ, because I had seen his work before on people that I know, acquaintances. And I was like, okay, I think this is the doctor that's going to be able to give me the boobs that I want, the size that I want. And I can honestly tell you, I am very happy now that I have my hormone issues controlled, now that I take my thyroid medicine, now that I understand the concept of living a lifestyle. And this is like, I need to make better choices so that I could feel better in every way and look better. Things have gotten controlled. And I don't know, guys, if and when I have kids, I'm not opposed to getting a mommy makeover. I know that sounds crazy because I've been under so much. Granted, you guys, if we really sit here and talk about, if we're being real, it can't be that healthy for us to be under as long as I've been in as many times. Like, I'm not going to tell you, go do it, but do whatever makes you happy. But just know that there are risks. I don't know. God forbid nothing happens to me like later on in the latter years of my life. But I'll do it again. That sounds crazy. Now even me just talking about it out loud, I'm like, I would. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. Oh no, I'm done with plastic surgery. I'd be lying. Like, I don't know. Right now I'm good. But if I have a kid and I want my body to sit right, like, I'm going to get a mommy makeover. Like, I'm okay with that. And that's my prerogative. And yes, I have to understand the risks. Especially if I'm going to have a kid, maybe that'll change. Maybe I'll love my kid so much that I'm like, I want to make sure I'm here for my kid, because you never know what can happen when you're under. Anything can literally happen, you guys. Obviously, I have faith in whatever God wants, but maybe that'll change. I don't know. I don't have a baby yet. I don't know if I'll be like, no, I just want to make sure I'm here for my kid, and F my body, I'll just work out like a lot. But honestly, even with working out, because I've always worked out, but there are certain things that only surgery can fix, especially if you've had a baby, especially if your body is a certain way. If you want your body to like, you don't want like the muffin tops, then that's what lipo, like it's just, our bodies are made the way they're made. So if you want it to look different, then sometimes you have to go under and do certain things like liposuction or get your boobs done or get your ass done, whatever, in order for it to look the way you want it to look. That's my boob journey, okay? That's the boob journey. Now we're happy with the boobs. We're chilling with the boobs. We're good. I have gotten liposuction on my arms. Actually, when I did that 360 lipo, he did my arms, but again, I gained weight and it went to like my freaking forearms. I had some like little chubby forearms for like so long, you guys, because I looked so weird and I never wanted to show my arms. I was just like so shy about it. But then I found this doctor in Tampa, Florida. And this was like, I want to say 3 years ago, approximately. And he's called Celebrity Arms, something like that. He's on Instagram and all he does are arms. That's like his specialty. And that's what I was like, okay, if I really want these nice, thin arms that I've been dreaming about my whole life, I need to go to someone that specializes. So I got that. And I talked about it like briefly in one of the episodes, but that was very traumatizing because I was awake. It was local anesthesia. He did numb me, but I was awake the entire time. And I don't know if I was just extra sensitive because I was literally on my period. I had just started my period a day before, but I wasn't going to change the surgery because I'm like, okay, well, it's already scheduled. I'm here. So I was very, very, very sensitive, very emotional. I cried on the table. And he's this very nice Asian man, but very like straight up. He was kind of like, why are you crying? What's wrong with you? He was very like, I don't know, very professional, I guess. He was not even trying to baby me at all. But I'm very happy with my arms. You guys, I think that was one of the best things I could have ever done for myself. And I love it. I'm so happy. And he like, I think the reason you're awake is because he needs you to be coherent, because he's making you do all of these random like flexes. You're like literally flexing, holding your arm in a certain position in order for him to like lipo and like mold your arm and remove the fat from like the muscles so that they look like muscular, I guess, like if you worked out for like 3 years. So again, I did this surgery before I lost all the weight. What I was thinking, I have no idea. I just wanted thinner arms. And so my body looked a little, I think, awkward for a little bit. And I didn't realize that until after. Now that I've lost weight, I feel like everything is settling in my body. But again, that's what I wanted and I did it. And I wish I would have waited, to be honest, now that I lost weight. But I'm happy. I mean, I have a little bit of like, my skin from losing 70 pounds, you guys, obviously is not the same. Like you lose elasticity, you know what I mean? Which is why I take collagen and everything, but you can only do so much. Gravity's going to do its thing. I'm okay with it. But as painful and as traumatizing as that surgery was, I would do it all over again. I would, because I'm very happy with the results. I've told you guys I've gotten Botox, I've gotten fillers. I don't like to do too many fillers because I feel like sometimes your face can look, it looks a little puffy, the face. And that's not really the look that I'm going for. I've gotten it before and it's gone away. People ask me all the time if my lips are real. My lips are real, you guys. I have gotten, like in 2009, I got fillers on my lips and I get fillers on the right side of my lip because that's the side that I usually sleep on. So it changes, like that's why we're supposed to sleep upright on our back, so that we don't get wrinkles and all this stuff. But other than that, my lips are real. I don't have anything in there right now. Maybe just on like the bows of my lip because of that whole situation. But yes, Botox. I love Botox. I've been getting it since I was 24. And I don't think that's going to stop unless I don't know. But I love Botox. I do. And I actually prefer Dysport. There's Dysport and Botox. I get Dysport. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about getting your surgeries, your plastic surgeries in another country. I mean, I've only gone to TJ, really. That's the only other country, Mexico. But there are really good doctors in Culiacan, in Guadalajara. Like, I just love the care personally in Mexico. When I got this last surgery, or anytime I've gotten surgery, to be honest, like in TJ, I feel like the care, the aftercare is so amazing. The times that I've gotten surgery here in Beverly Hills, and they're very expensive. They literally just send you home that same day. Like, okay, you're cool. You're in the recovery room for a couple hours. All right, you're good. Go home. Yeah, they call you the next day. Hey, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? But in Mexico, my experience has been where, yes, you have to pay extra for like a recovery home. I didn't go to the recovery home this last time. I went to a hotel room, and in that hotel room, my nurses would come and take care of me and make sure that I was fine. And yes, you're paying an extra fee, but it's not as expensive as you would think, especially like being like in Mexico. Like for the care that they give you, they came and washed my hair. They gave me a bath. Like if I wanted braids, they'd give me braids. The food was amazing. I just feel like it's important, especially after getting any type of surgery, like the next 24 hours after your surgery are super crucial to make sure you're okay and that you have the care that you need. And they always keep you overnight the first night in Mexico, which I prefer just in case. You just never know what can happen. You know, you want to be hydrated. You want to make sure you get your meds. So that's the difference. That's what I kind of like getting my surgery in Mexico. And honestly, if I were to get a mommy makeover, I would still get it done in Mexico somewhere, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion and like what I would do, because I love the aftercare. It's just so much better. I don't know. It's not like, okay, bye, go home, you know, but I would totally recommend a recovery home. There are a few in Mexico. I know there are a lot. It is an extra cost, obviously, but I think it's totally worth it to make sure that, you know, especially I'm the type of person that doesn't like to like ask for help or like bother anybody. I'm like, okay, here, I just rather pay the person and make sure that I'm taken care of and I'm fed and, you know, me están limpiando la cuca when I need it, you know, all that stuff. One thing I will say though, about getting your surgery done in Mexico, you kind of just, it is what it is. So at least like in my experience, when getting my surgery in Mexico, it's kind of like, this is the price in pesos, and then they convert it into dollars, and that's what it is. And there's no payment plan option. In the States, that is a perk. You know, there are payment plans. Again, in my experience, I haven't found a place that does that. And it is significantly better in price in Mexico as well. I'm telling you, if I haven't even calculated how much I've spent on these boobs. I mean, if I had to guess right now, especially with my first surgery, you guys, I mean, that was how many years ago? That was 15 years ago, at least. It was $20,000 for just some tits, you know? It's just like, and I still didn't even get what I wanted. So anyways, I'm not trying to tell you guys, okay, go to a foreign country and get surgery. I'm just letting you guys know this is my experience, but it is a lot better in price. It's less expensive in Mexico. But again, I can't stress enough, you guys, make sure that you do your research, please. Okay. Again, not everything that is cheap is going to be good. There are expensive doctors though in Mexico. I have encountered some that are just like super expensive, but you get what you pay for. I mean, they're great, you know? And my doctor, Dr. Victor Gutierrez, I mean, you would think some people would probably say, oh, he's a little expensive. But again, you're paying for what you get. But if you compare it to what it would be here in the States, it'd be a lot more expensive. Again, do your research, you guys. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you ask around. Make sure you ask, okay, I want to see what you've done before. Do you specialize in this type of surgery, plastic surgery that I'm getting? Like you have to make sure you ask all of the questions, because you don't want to be sorry later. So that's what I got to say about that. So just to close up this episode, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Now that I'm just kind of like, you know, putting my business out there. But I think more than anything, what I want is for you guys to learn from my experiences. And the only way that you guys can learn through my experiences is if I'm completely 100% honest and transparent with you guys. So if I can give you any advice, I would say, especially in the type of world that we live in, we want instant gratification. I mean, we want to lose. Now I think we found the magic pill, which is really an injection with, you know, Ozempic and stuff. You got to be very, very careful with things like that, because sometimes when we want things so quickly, we don't know what the side effects are long term. So just think about that. I'm not talking bad. I've been there. I've gotten the surgery. Like I've freaking have done the injections to lose weight. Like, trust me, I get it. As a woman, especially with the pressure that we have in this world, in this society of like looking better, this and this and that, and it's like the quick fix, just be careful. Make sure that you guys think it through. Make sure that you are mentally prepared and emotionally prepared, because I wasn't, especially like in the earlier years of my life where I got plastic surgery so young. I feel like I wasn't ready in so many different ways. I didn't understand and comprehend the responsibility that came with getting liposuction, because if you don't take care of yourself, your body will look awkward, and I went through that. I think plastic surgery is awesome, but again, you have to make sure that you maintain it in the best way that you can and make sure that you're willing to work out and eat better and do what you have to do for the aftercare. Because if you want long-term good results, you have to be willing to put in the work. It's not just, an easy fix, because it does not work that way. And I'm telling you, I had to learn that shit the hard way. So that is my advice. That is my story on plastic surgery. Again, live and let live. I'm never going to judge. And hopefully you guys don't judge me. And if you do, then whatever. It is what it is. I'm used to it. But this is my truth. And this is what I've put myself through. It has been my choice. It really has. And I thank God that I'm okay. But all I can say is do your research. Even with a doctor in the States, do your research, you guys. Make sure that you're well informed and that you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that you are well informed in every way. Okay, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you can appreciate my honesty. And I'm sorry if it makes some people uncomfortable, but this is my journey, and I'm glad that I'm able to share this with you guys. And hopefully you learn a thing or two from it. And I will see you on the next episode of Chiquis and Chill. I love you guys so much. Do you need advice on love, relationships, health, y más? I'm so excited to share with you that my Chiquis and Chill podcast will have an extra episode drop each week. I'll be answering all your questions. Just leave me a voice message con todas tus preguntas y yo te las voy a contestar personalmente. All you have to do is go to speakpipe.com/Chiquis and Chill podcast and record your questions. I can't wait to hear from you. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.